In this video, I'll be talking about the banners you should consider rolling on as a late surger main. As a quick disclaimer, I am not a JP player, so this is all based on my own research and my own understanding. So if I miss a couple of good banners, then please let me down in the comments below. First up on the banner list, we have Nice Nature, the Wit card. The main reason you want to be pulling for the Nice Nature Wit card is this right here, the Gold Skill Switch Up Pro, or what we call in the global version on your left. It activates randomly on the late race on the first half section. So this skill is an acceleration gambling skill that might proc correctly, and if it procs correctly, then it will give a massive boost on your late surger. The only cards that give on your left gold hints is just Winning Ticket Guts card, Nice Nature Wit card, and Sakura, which will come in the future. So it's actually a pretty rare gold skill to get. And Nice Nature itself is a pretty good card. It gets pretty good at 1 LB because you get the wisdom bonus. However, it starts unlocking most of the potential up on the 3 LB because it gets the race bonus and the fan count bonus. But it's perfectly usable anyways if you have it at 1 LB. The next banner that we have on the list is Summer Marcinski and Summer Special Week. Now on this banner, what we want to aim is actually the Summer Special Week. However, Summer Marcinski is of course a bonus on top if you like Summer Marcinski as a frontrunner as well. Now why is Summer Special Week actually pretty good? She has a pretty decent stat bonus being 10% on stamina, power, and gut. As for her aptitude, she's pretty good on medium and long distance. What makes her really good is her unique skill. During the middle leg, if you activate at least 2 skill and in the middle of the pack, then your speed and stamina will recover. So she's really good on medium and long distance because her unique skill gives you a stamina recovery and a bonus speed on top of it, which is really easy to activate as well because you only need to activate at least 2 skills in the middle leg. She has also 2 gold innate late surger skill, which is really good. Quick and Decisive, which is actually fast and furious, is a gold skill that activates during your middle leg, and the activation condition is pretty much just a weight check at this point. It's like a really good speed skill to have. It also has Tailhead. It also has the gold version of Ramp Up. Coming up next on the list is Mejiro Dober. Mejiro Dober is the must roll for the late surger in my opinion because it's basically the same as Saving Sky for the frontrunner or Nishino Flower for the pace chaser. It's your parent inherit for most of the late surgers. Now let's take a look at her unique and why we want to inherit this onto the late surger Umas. Her unique skill beyond the other side. If you keep your calm in the middle of the pack during a middle or final leg corner, your acceleration will increase. So basically the activation condition for this unique is that if you're on the final corner and the corner is in the middle part of the race or the late race, you didn't get rushed, and you're in the 5th to the 6th position, then this unique will activate. So it's actually really similar to the Let's Pump Some Iron. That's why most of the time you can also pair this skill with Let's Pump Some Iron. For example, if you take a look at the Tokyo 2400 meter course, both of these unique activate at a pretty good timing. Another advantage of Mejiro Dober unique is that since it has the ability to activate on the final corner on the middle leg as well, it will also activate even before the final corner of the late race, which make it more flexible than let's say Let's Pump Some Iron, which only activate on the late race. As for Mejiro Dober herself as an Uma, she has a pretty decent stat bonus being 10% on speed and 20% on wit. Her aptitude is good for mal and medium, and she also has All-Seeing Eye, so you could also run Mejiro Dober as a debuffer. She also has a gold skill called Child Pyodo, which just increase your stats if you're in the Kyoto race course. Overall, she's like not a really solid Uma, but you technically want her just because of her parent aspect to inherit this skill right here. Moving up onto the next banner, we have the Christmas Oguri. This banner is a really important banner to roll on if you really want to chase the meta, and I really recommend you to roll on this banner just because Christmas Oguri is actually really busted. It's one of the meta units that still stays relevant in the JP version as well. Now why is Christmas Oguri really good? She has a really good stat bonus, 15% on speed, 15% on stamina. On top of that, she's pretty much good on all the distance besides the sprint distance, and what makes her really busted is her unique skill. If you activate at least 3 recovery skill, then in the second half of the race, your speed and acceleration will increase and your stamina will recover. So this unique basically does everything. You get a bonus speed, you get a bonus acceleration, you get a bonus stamina recovery. That's pretty insane for a unique skill. You can also manipulate how to activate this skill because if you activate the 3rd recovery skill, let's say 777, if you activate 777, for example on a specific race course such as the 2400 meter Tokyo turf, then this skill will activate right about the last spurt and you get a bonus speed and acceleration, which is really huge. She also has Gourmand as her innate gold skill, which is really good for a pace chaser. She has the innate 777 I was talking about, and she has also pretty good skill for the long distance racetrack. Coming up next on the list, we have the Taiki shuttle and the Mejiro Dober camping version. What you want to aim for this banner is the Mejiro Dober the camping version. She has a pretty decent stat bonus, being 20% on speed and 10% on width. As for the distance, she's pretty good for the mall and the medium racetrack. Her unique itself is pretty track dependent, to be honest. If you're in the middle of the pack on a downhill late into the race, your speed will increase. So we need to have a specific track where the downhill is actually really near to the last spurt to make full potential of this unique. So for example, it's on the 1600 meter Hanshin turf. So the activation condition is that it's on a downhill and it's on the middle leg. You need to be on the 4 to the 7 position, and there's 500 distance remaining on the race course. An example of that is here. We see the downhill is actually here and it's above 500 meter. So this is a really good unique skill to activate here, as it will carry over to the last spurt. Mejiro Dober the camping version has two pretty good gold skills. The first one being Daredevil. It's also a late surger gambling acceleration skill. So if you're in the middle of the pack at a random point during the second half of the race, your speed and acceleration will increase. It's a similar gambling acceleration skill, such as on your left, you just want to stack as much acceleration gambling skill as you can on late surger to make sure they proc either one of those correctly and win the race. This skill is really strong if it activates correctly, because you get an acceleration and you get the bonus target speed on top of it. Mejiro Dober also has one of the better gold gambling acceleration skill as well, which is Rise from the Ashes. It's specifically for the medium racetrack, but during the first half of the final leg, if you're not near the front, your acceleration will increase. This is really straightforward. It activates on the first half of the late race, and if you get really lucky and activate close to the last spurt, then you technically just win. Coming up next on the banner, we have Daichi Ruby, the power card. If we take a look at Daichi Ruby support power card effect, it provides a pretty decent effect overall on 0 LB. But it gets better if you get it on 1 LB because it gains a skill point bonus. It's like the stopping breaking point, to be honest, because 3 LB is like not big much of a jump. You only get some initial guts, and for the full LB you only get a little bit more on the stats overall. As for the main reason you want to be pulling for Daichi Ruby is because Daichi Ruby has pretty good hints for the late surgers. It has like a lot of tons of debuffs as well. But the main reason you want to be pulling for this card is right here, the gold skill Lightning Speed. So this is also a gambling acceleration skill, specifically for the short and mall distance. So if you're about to overtake someone in the second half of the pack during the final leg, your acceleration will increase. So the position needs to be above the fifth position, and you are doing an overtake. And it needs to happen on the late race. Next up, we have the standard version of the Symboli Kris as support card. Why you want to roll for this card is because it has a really good hint for the late surger. It has a bunch of hints for the late surgers, right, as you can see right here. And on top of that, the main reason you want to be pulling for this card is this right here, the gold skill called Lose Yourself. So this gold skill is another gambling acceleration skill for the long distance racetrack. So if you're a late surger on the long distance racetrack, during the last spurt, if you're not in front, use some stamina to increase your acceleration. So it's a pretty straightforward acceleration skill. If you're a late surger and it's on the last spurt, and you're above the 4th position, then you basically just get a free acceleration in exchange for your stamina. As for the limit break priority for this card on 0 LB and MLB doesn't really change much. It only gains a skill point bonus and a mood bonus. So you can probably stop rolling for her at 1 LB because you get a skill point bonus at 1 LB, which is pretty nice. The jump from 1 LB to MLB is not really much, it's just mood bonus on top of it, so it's not really important to get. Next up, we have Vodka, the Christmas version. Vodka is a good late surger, specifically for the Tokyo racetrack. If we take a look at her kit, she has a 20% stat bonus on speed, 10% on gut. As for her distance, she's okay on normal and the medium distance. Now, why did I say she's pretty good on the Tokyo racetrack is because of her unique. After running downhill in the back of the pack during the middle leg, or later your speed will increase. If you're in Tokyo, then you also get acceleration on top of it. So this skill is pretty track dependent, and it's better to run Vodka specifically only on the Tokyo racetrack. For example, the 2400 Tokyo racetrack. So there's a downhill right here, and she can properly utilize her unique. And she gets an acceleration on top of it. However, if it's not the Tokyo racetrack, then her unique is not really good because you lose out on the extra acceleration. She also has a pretty good gold acceleration skill, which is the non-stop girl. This skill currently in the global version is actually not as good as in the JP version because of the increased lane movement speed. This mechanics will be buffed on the JP version, which is really nice if it activates on the final corner because lane movement speed helps a lot when the Umas are spreading on the final corner. The activation condition is also a little bit RNG because you need to be blocked on the last spurt technically. She also has a gold speed skill, which is top gear on the final rate if you're not in the lead, but also not more than 10 meters from it, you gain a speed boost for it. She also has the upgraded version of the non-stop girl, which just gives you more stamina if you proc the skill. As for the top gear, you basically just get more speed for the skill. This banner is not really high up in the priority because Vodka is only really good on the Tokyo racetrack. The next banner that we have on the list is the Special Week Stamina card and the Sweep Tosho with card. If we take a look at her card, it's actually pretty decent at 0 LB. The support effect for this card is actually pretty decent. However, the specialty priority might be a bit low because you only get 20 on 0 LB. If you can, try to get this card on 1 LB because you get a guts bonus at 1 LB. And this card just gets even better on the 3 LB and upwards because you get the increased training. So I guess the breaking point for the LB priority for this card is either 1 LB or the 3 LB. As for the main reason you want to be pulling for this card is that this card on Special Week has the Non-Stop Girl, which is another gambling acceleration skill that I have mentioned before. Currently, this skill is actually not really good, but on JP version, it will be buffed. Next banner that we have on the list is Kita-san New Year version and Satono Diamond New Year version. The one we want to be aiming for is Satono Diamond New Year version. Satono is a good late surger for the long tracks. If we take a look at her kit, she has 15% bonus on speed and stamina. As for distance, she's pretty good for medium and long. If we take a look at her unique skill, halfway through the race, if you're in the middle of the pack, your speed will increase and your stamina will recover. This skill will pretty much activate because you will be either in the 4th or 7th position anyway as you'll be running her as a late surger, so you get a free stamina recovery and a free bonus speed. She also has a gold acceleration skill, which is lose yourself for the long distance racetrack. So if you're a late surger and in a long racetrack, during the last spurt if you're not in front, use some stamina to increase your acceleration. However, there's a little bit of a drawback as there's a little bit of stamina debuff on this skill. But it's a pretty consistent acceleration skill, so it's a pretty good gold skill to grab. On top of that, she has a really good stamina debuff skill, which is Stamina Greed. On the long racetrack, if you're in the back at the random point during the middle leg, you'll drain the stamina from the enemy girls ahead of you, and your own stamina will recover. So it's a really good stamina debuff skill, and you also recover your own stamina on top of it. As for the evolved version for Lose Yourself, it only decreases the stamina consumption by a bit, and the evolved version of the Stamina Greed becomes even better, because on top of the stamina drain and recovery, you also get a bonus speed. Coming up next on the banner, we have Daichi Ruby. Daichi Ruby is actually a really unique Uma, and we'll look into the reasoning why. As for her stat bonus, she has 20% on power, 10% on width, not really that good. As for the distance, she's good for the short and the mall distance racetrack. This is what makes her really good. If we take a look at her unique skill, Reign Supreme, when entering the last third of the race, if you're in the back of the pack but aren't last, and if you haven't been rushed, your speed will slightly increase. You will also slow down the first 4 girls. This unique increase your speed, and on top of that, it's also a speed debuff skill. She can also do speed debuff on other Umas while being an ace herself. On top of that, she also has another gold skill for the speed debuff. At a random point during the final corner, if you're not in the front, your speed will increase, and you will slow down 3 closest girls both ahead and behind you. So this is another skill that increases your speed and also debuff the other Umas. She also has another speed debuff skill here, and lastly, she has a good gold acceleration skill, which is lightning speed. So if you're about to overtake someone in the second half of the pack during the final leg, your acceleration will increase. It's sort of a gambling acceleration skill, but it's one of the more consistent one. Her upgraded version of the Dignified version is just more speed. However, the upgraded version of Lightning Speed is even better. If we take a look here on top of the acceleration, you will also slow down the girls around you. So you also get another speed debuff on her evolved gold skills. Next up on the banner list, we have Sakura. If you take a look at her kit, she has 20% boost on stamina, 10% boost on power. She is good on the medium and long distance racetrack. Her unique is actually pretty good. If you are in the middle of the pack during the middle of the race, your speed will slightly increase. In the long distance racetrack, this effect will last longer and the stamina will greatly recover. So she specifically ran for the long distance racetrack, because if you see the effect of her unique skill, you get a pretty massive stamina recovery, which is 7.5 5%. This unique skill can also be inherited to other Umas because it's actually pretty decent. You get 3.5% recovery when it's inherited to other Umas. Her innate skill, she also has tail head high. She also has a good speed skill, which is pushing forward, which uses a little bit of a stamina to increase her speed. And she also has another gold speed skill, which is in one fell swoop. Her evolved skill for pushing forward gets even better because it gets rid of her stamina drain. And for the evolved version of in one fell swoop, it's just more speed. Next up on the list, we have Neo Universe. Neo Universe is a really solid Uma, specifically designed for the medium distance racetrack. If we take a look at her kit, she actually has a massive 30% bonus on width, so it's definitely hard to hit the other stats. As for the distance, she's pretty much okay for mile, medium, and long. If we take a look at her unique skill at Astra, if you're in the middle of the pack halfway through the race, your speed will increase. If it's on the medium racetrack and you've activated at least 7 skills, then you get a bonus speed. So you definitely want to stack a lot of skills when running New Universe because you need to at least have 7 skills to get the most potential from this unique. She also has a pretty good code skill for the medium racetrack, which is Prepare to Die, which is just more speed skill. And lastly, she also has a gold skill called Luminescence. This skill activates on a medium racetrack. However, it's pretty hard to activate the skill because you need to activate at least 13 skills in the race to gain the massive speed boost. So Neo Universe is an Uma where you want to stack as many skills as possible because to get this skill and her unique, you want to stack at least 13 skills to get the full potential of her kit. Her evolved version for both of the skills is just more speed skills. Coming up next on the list, we have Mihono Bourbon, the Wit card, and Sakura, the Stamina card. The main reason you want to be pulling for this card is because it has on your left gold skill on the guaranteed events. It's another option if you don't want to run the Guts winning ticket card or Nice Nature Wit card. As for the effects itself, at 0 LB, it provides a decent amount of effects already. As we can see, the unique effect, it gains up to 3 stamina bonus if we have 3 recovery skills, which is actually really huge. It starts getting really good at 1 LB though, because you gain a skill point bonus, which is really huge for gaining SP on your Uma. The stopping point for this card is also 1 LB, because getting further onto 3 LB only gives you hint bonus. Getting to MLB doesn't really increase much in terms of the effects itself. Next up, we have Bamboo Memory and Tosen Jordan, the summer version. Bamboo Memory is a good late surger specifically for the sprint distance. If we take a look at her kit, she has a pretty good spread for her stat bonus being 14% on speed, 8% on power, 8% on guts. As for the distance, she's pretty good on short and mile distance. For her unique, if you're in the first half of the pack, but not in lead, with 200 meters remaining, your speed will increase. Bonus speed if it's a sprint distance, and you've overtaken someone since entering the final leg. This unique is pretty similar to how Oguri Cap unique will activate because you need 200 distance remaining, and you're either in the 2 to the 5th position and you've done an overtake. But the overtake part will happen naturally because you're running her as a late surger anyways. As for her innate skill, she has a ton of acceleration skill. For example, Fearless Heart, which is the white version of their devil. She also have on your left, which is a decent gambling acceleration skill. She also has the white version of Non-Stop Girl. And lastly, she have a gold skill called Spin Turbo, which activates for the sprint distance race course. And at a random point during the final leg, your acceleration will increase. So this is also a gambling acceleration skill, and you just hope it to activate near the last bird. Her evolved version of on your left is just more speed when there's 200 meters remaining in the race. And for the Sprint Turbo, the same as well. When there's 200 meters remaining in the race, your speed will increase. So she's pretty much banking on the last 200 meters on the race to catch up when she activates all her skill. Next up on the banner, we have Manhattan Cafe, the Wit card, and Jungle Pockets, the Guts card. This banner right here is debatable to roll because if you only have the Symboli Kris stamina card, then it pretty much loses a lot of value because both of these skills just give you the lose yourself. However, if you don't have the Symboli stamina card, then definitely grab this card because this card is better and it has an option to give you between the lose yourself acceleration skill or cooldown, which is a good recovery skill for the long distance racetrack. As for the effects from this card, it's actually really good. It has 2 with bonus and 1 skill point bonus when the bond gauge is full. On top of that, on 0 LB, this card already provides a lot. 10% increased training, good race bonus and fan count bonus, and good specialty priority. There's not really much increase on the 1LB, she only unlocks a mood bonus which is not really huge. However, this card doesn't have a starting bond until the 3LB, so it's pretty hard to get the friendship bond up if you don't have this card at 3LB, because at 3LB it starts getting the bond up, and at MLB it gets 30 starting bond. So for this card, it's either you just leave it at 0LB and it's perfectly fine to use it for the lose yourself or the cooldown cold recovery skill, or you get it up to 3LB and MLB when it starts getting the starting bond to help you activate the unique effect quicker. Next up on the banner list, we have Condor Pasa, the speed card, and Mei Satake, the friend card. This banner, I really recommend you to roll on it. It's pretty much a high priority on the banners to roll on because Condor Pasa is a really good speed card. And on top of that, Mei Satake is a friend scenario card for the LR scenario. If we take a look at Condor Pasa speed card effect, you gain a skill point bonus and an all-stat bonus when the bond gauge is full. It already have 50 specialty priority, a speed bonus, and a bunch of effects. At 1LB, these cards get better because you get a skill point bonus on top of it. However, you're missing out on an increased training until 3LB, which is 5% and 10% on MLB. So definitely for this card, if you want to get the full potential out of it, then try to get at least 3LB for the increased training. However, it's perfectly fine to leave this card at 1LB, because even on 1LB, you gain like 2 skill point bonus when training with this card, which is really huge. And you don't really lose much on the effect wise. It has a pretty decent hints, but mostly this card is more catered toward the page chaser. However, what we want to aim for in this card is this skill right here, check. Check is a consistent acceleration skill, which is specific for the page chaser and late surger. So if you're in the final corner in the final leg, and you're not in the back of the pack, and there is at least 600 meters remaining in the race, your acceleration will greatly increase. So this skill is more for the medium distance racetrack and long distance racetrack where there is at least 600 meters remaining. As for the activation, it's pretty much straightforward. You need to be less than the 6th position and there's 600 meters remaining, and you're on the final corner on the late race. So this skill is pretty good when the last spurt is actually on the final corner. For example, for the Tokyo 2000 meter turf, this skill activates on the final corner, which is really good. Another example is on the Tokyo 2500 meter turf, where it activates on the final corner. It's a bit late from the final spurt, but it's still pretty close. On top of that, for this card, you can choose between a check acceleration skill or professor of curvature, which is Kita-san's black gold skill. Next up on the banner list, we have Satono Crown. Satono Crown has a pretty max stat bonus, which is 15% on power and 15% on guts. As for the distance, she's only good on mile and medium. Her unique skill though, if you're in the middle of the pack during the final corner, then with 400 meters remaining in the race, your speed will increase. Bonus speed if the race is medium distance and you overtook someone during the middle leg. She's definitely on the lower side of the priority because she's pretty much only good on the medium racetrack. However, if you're lacking a medium racetrack, then definitely Satono Crown is one of the options as well. For her innate skill, she has 2 gold skills, which is quick and decisive. The global version of this is fast and furious, which is a good gold speed skill. And she also has another gold gambling acceleration skill, which is rise from the ashes. Her evolved version for fast and furious is just more speed. As for the acceleration gambling skill, it's more acceleration, but you get a stamina debuff on top of it. The next banner that we have is Duramente speed card and Satono wit card. This banner is a pretty good banner to roll on because Duramente as a speed card is pretty busted. Duramente at MLB has about 120 specialty priority, which is pretty much about the same as Kita-san Black, but the main reason we want to be rolling for this banner is Satono Diamond, the wit version. If we take a look at Satono Diamond wit card version, at 0LB it already provides a lot of effect, gives you a skill point bonus when the gauge is at least 80%. It also already gives you 5% on the increased training. You also already get 35 specialty priority. So at 0LB, this card is really solid already. At 1LB, it doesn't increase much as you only gain with bonus. This card gets pretty good on 3LB because you get with bonus, and on MLB, you get 2 with bonus on top of it, and it increases your energy recovery when doing with training. So for this card, it's either 0LB or you go straight full to the MLB. The main reason you want to be pulling for this card though is the hints. It's perfectly fine to have this card at 0 LB. Most of the value of this card is from the hints. It's for all these late surger skills. And also it provides you with two options for the gold skill, which is really good. The first one is pushing forward. It's a skill for the late surger that increase your speed in exchange for the stamina. The better skill from this card is burning spirit, which is exclusive for the medium racetrack. If you're in the middle of the pack during the middle leg, and someone is blocking you from the side, your speed will increase and your stamina will recover. This cool skill is pretty hard to proc because it's a little bit of RNG with the blocking of the other Umas. However, if it's proc correctly, you gain a massive stamina recovery and you gain a bonus speed on top of it. Next up on the list, we have Mejiro Palmer and Mejiro Bright, the Christmas version. Mejiro Bright, the Christmas version, has 20% bonus on stamina, 10% on wit. She is pretty good for the medium and long distance. You want to run this Uma specifically for the long distance because of her unique Illuminate You. If you're in the middle of the pack during the middle leg, your stamina will greatly recover, but your speed will slightly decrease. Then during the final leg, if your stamina stat is at least 1200, you will get a slight speed boost. This unique is a little bit awkward because you get a speed debuff, but in exchange for that, you gain a massive stamina recovery, which is 7.5%. To offset for this skill has a second activation for the unique. If your stamina is over 1200, you gain 8 seconds of increased current speed, which is actually really huge because current speed is actually better than the target speed. As for her gold innate skill, she has 1000-mile journey, which is just a gold speed skill for the late surger. She also has another good gold skill for the long distance racetrack, which is tempestuous pressure. So if you overtake someone during the final leg, your speed will increase and your acceleration will increase. So this is also a bit of gambling acceleration speed skill. As we can see right here, it gives you acceleration and target speed. So if you proc the overtake on the late race near the last spurt, you gain maximum value from the skill. So it's a still bit of an RNG acceleration skill. She also get a little bit speed boost on her evolve skill for 1000-mile journey, and the same for tempestuous pressure. Next up on the list, we have Vivlos. If we take a look at Vivlos' kit, she has a pretty good spread for her stat bonus, 10% on speed, 10% on power, and 10% on wit. As for her distance, she is good for the mile and the medium racetrack. As for her unique skill Deluxe Fountain, if you enter the final straight in the middle of a pack, when there's 300 meters remaining, your speed will increase. If you didn't get rushed, then it will increase greatly. So for the activation condition for this unique, it's pretty tight because if you enter the last straight and you get rushed throughout the race, then you lose a lot of value on this unique. Vivlos is better on a certain racetrack where the downhill on the racetrack is on a really good spot because you can get a lot of value from this gold skill Supreme Downhiller. On top of that, Vivlos also has the gambling acceleration skill, which is Daredevil. The downhill gets even better because on top of the only speed, she gets an extra acceleration. So on a certain race course where the downhill is located pretty near to the last spurt, the skill gets even better. As for the evolved version of Daredevil, it's just more speed for the skill. Next up on the list, we have Nice Nature, the New Year version. Nice Nature, the New Year version, has a pretty good stat spread, which is 14% on speed, 8% on power, and 8% on wit. As for the distance racetrack, she's pretty good on medium and long distance. And her unique skill, if you're not in the front on the final corner during the final leg, your speed will greatly increase. In a medium racetrack, you will receive a great instant speed boost instead. So this skill is really good on certain medium racetrack because it gives you increased current speed instead of the target speed, which actually bumps your speed by a huge amount when you're entering the final corner on the late race. She also has the gold version of Slipstream, which is in the right place. And on top of that, she also has the gold gambling acceleration skill on your left. As for her evolve skill, she has the evolve version of Slipstream, which is just more speed. As for the evolve version of on your left, you have two choices. The first one is just more acceleration, and the second one you get a little bit speed boost in exchange for the acceleration. Next up on the banner list, you have New Universe, the Wit card. The main reason you want to be pulling for New Universe Wit card is this gambling acceleration skill, which is Rise from the Ashes, which is a good gambling acceleration skill that activates on a medium racetrack. As for her hints, it's pretty much specifically catered to like the medium distance racetrack as well. While for the support effect itself, at 0 LB, this card is actually perfectly usable because at 0 LB, this card already gives you a perfectly usable effect, 35 specialty priority, and a pretty good effect overall. This card gets better on 1 LB because you get 5% increased training, and on 3 LB you gain skill point bonus, which get even better on MLB because you get 2 skill point bonus. Next up on the list we have Jungle Pocket. This Uma is a limited Uma, so you definitely cannot ticket this Uma, and you can only get her from rolling. Jungle Pocket is a really insane late surger for the medium racetrack. Let's take a look at the reason why. As for her stat bonus, she has 10% on speed, 10% on stamina, and 10% on power. A pretty good spread overall. As for the distance, she's pretty good on medium and the long distance racetrack. Her unique skill, Fade in a Feral. If you're in the middle of the pack halfway to the race, your speed will increase. It will increase greatly in the medium racetrack. So the activation condition for the skill is basically you just need to be in the 4th or the 7th position, and you gain a little bit of a boost if it's on a medium racetrack. Jungle Pocket also has a pretty good speed skill, which is Splitting Spirit. She also has another good cold skill, which is called Searching Beat, which activates for the medium and long distance racetrack. And if you're in the middle of the pack during the first half of the final leg, she just gained a speed boost, which is just more speed skill for her kit. As for the evolved version of her gold speed skill, Blitzing Spirit just gains another speed skill if your base power is at least 1200. Now, this evolved gold skill is where she gets better. For the Tokyo race course, she gains another acceleration for the Surging Beat gold skill. So Jungle Pocket mostly just dominates on the Tokyo medium racetracks. For the Surging Beat, you can either choose this if it's on the Tokyo racetrack, or if it's not, then you get the other version, which is just more speed on top of it. Coming up next on the banner, we have Symboli Kris, the power version. This banner right here is not really too much of a priority to roll on, especially because we have Manhattan Cafe with card and the stamina version of the Symboli Kris to give you the lose yourself acceleration skill. But yeah, the main reason you want to be rolling for this card is for the gold acceleration for the long distance, which is lose yourself. You can either choose this gold acceleration skill or another good gold speed skill, which is 1000-mile journey for the late surgers. However, this card provides a better support hint overall from Manhattan Cafe and the original stamina version of this card. As you can see here, it gives you a lot of late surger skill, slipstreams, and even more late surger skills. As for the support effect from this card at 0L, it's perfectly usable because you have a pretty decent specialty priority, you already gain a 1 stamina bonus, and you gain 2 power bonus when the bond gauge is at least 80%. This card gets better at 1LB because you gain an SP bonus from this card. It definitely gets better on 3LB because you get 10% increased training from this card, and it jumps up to over 20% on MLB, which is really huge. The next banner that we have on the list is Symboli Rudolf, the wit version, and Mejiro are the power card. The card that you want to be aiming from this banner is Symboli Rudolf, the wit version. The main reason you want to be rolling for this card is because of the check acceleration skill. However, El Condor Pasa, the speed card, also already have the skill, so you can either run this card or El Condor Pasa speed card on your deck. This card also has the gold version of Slipstream in the option if you don't want to pick the check skill. As for this card at 0LB, this card already provides you with a lot of, you gain a speed bonus, you gain a wit bonus, you gain an SP bonus, you also have 50 specialty priority. At 1LB, it gets a little bit better because you gain more with bonus, and 3LB you gain 10% increased training, and at MLB you gain 20% increased training, which is the same as the Symboli Kris power card. So you can utilize this as a roaming support card as well. The next banner that we have on the list is Daring Tact, the wit version for the card. Daring Tact is a really good late surger card because if we see right here, it provides you with 2 gold speed skill for the late surger. The first one is Independence, it's basically just a gold speed skill, and you also get Fast and Furious, which is another good gold speed skill. And for this card specifically, it gives you actually both of this gold speed skill, so it's a really good card. As for the hint itself, it's pretty good. You gain a Spring Runner, you also gain a lot of skills for the late surger, so it's definitely a really good card to fit in your deck. At 0LB, this card already provides a lot, so you can definitely run this card at 0LB. I definitely feel the support card that get released more in the future already has a lot of good effects, even when they're on 0LB. This card already gained 50 specialty priority, 5% increased training, and 2 wit bonus when the bond gauge is at least 80. This card gets a little bit better on 1LB because you get a speed bonus, and it provides you with more SP bonus on 3LB. At MLB, it gives you more skill point bonus. I guess the stopping point for this card is either 1LB for the speed bonus, or you jump straight up to the MLB for the skill point bonus. We're nearing the end of the list. The next banner that we have is Still in Love. Still in Love is a really good late surger. It's currently one of the meta Umas, and it's actually a limited Uma. So definitely roll on this banner because you cannot ticket this Uma. Let's see why Still Enough is a meta late surger. If we take a look at her stat bonus, it's 10% on stamina, 10% on power, and 10% on guts. For the distance aptitude, she's good on Mal and medium. Her unique skill, Scarlet Lily Elations, if you're in the middle of the pack with 100 meters remaining, your speed will greatly increase. And on the medium racetrack specifically, if you activate the impulse skill, then during your final leg corner, your acceleration will increase. So she's definitely better on a medium racetrack because she gains an acceleration skill on her unique. Now if you're wondering what this impulse skill is, it's basically just her innate skill. So definitely grab this innate skill because this green innate skill actually affects her evolve skill as well, and I will touch on it a bit later. So for her unique, you can choose between a bonus speed on 300 meters remaining or a good acceleration skill on the final corner. She also has a good speed skill, which is called Killer Instinct for the small and medium racetrack, where it's just a speed boost if she's not in the front. She also has another really good gold speed skill, which is called Unshackled Passion. At a random point during the middle leg, your speed will increase. Then, at a random point during the final leg, you will get a speed boost. This gold skill is actually really insane. Why? Because it could activate twice. This part is for the middle leg, where you get a speed boost, and it can activate twice on the late race, which give you a current speed. So on top of it, you gain like a 5-second total for a single gold speed skill, which is really insane if you think about it because it's already similar to a unique skill for most of the Umas. As for the evolved version for Killer Instinct, Crimson Steering, it's just more speed boost if you take the impulsive skill. This skill is also really busted because it increases your current speed by a lot. As for the Unshackled Passion evolved skill, there is two versions for it, Untold Vow and Awakened Desire. You want to get the Untold Vow version where the downhill is actually near the last spurt, because the second activation condition change when this is on a downhill and you gain an extra acceleration. The second activation of this skill basically just become Daredevil, the gold skill, because it gain a bit of acceleration and it increase the current speed and it activates randomly on the first quarter of the late race. So it becomes a gold gambling acceleration skill. Finally, we have come to the end of the list. On this banner, we have Stay Gold, the cuts version of the card, and Admire Groove, the speed version of the card. This banner is a must roll in my opinion because Stay Gold and Admire Groove itself is both currently the meta cards in JP. What we want to aim from this banner specifically though is Admire Groove, the speed card. Now why you want to roll for this card is because this card provides you with a lot of hint for the late surgers. If you can see right here, it provides you with a lot of hint for the late surger. You have also white version of the acceleration skill of Daredevil, and you also have a pretty good acceleration skill, which is currently exclusive to Air Groove, which is aimed for the summit. This card is also really busted because the training event, the first one being Natural Talent, which is another good gold gambling acceleration skill. This acceleration skill activates on the first quarter, on the late race, which is another good gambling acceleration skill. And on top of that, you gain another good speed skill, which is Brains and Beauty. As for the support effect for this card, it's actually pretty insane because if you look at it, at 0 LB, this card already unlocks all the effect. So definitely, this card is already pretty much usable at 0 LB. If we take a look at 1 LB, it doesn't really change much. At 2 LB, it doesn't really change much as well. However, this card starts getting real good at 3 LB. Because if we can see right here, the increased training jumped from 1% up to 10%. And it gets better on 20%. And on top of that, the specialty priority jumps up from 60 to 100 on MLB. And this card is really good because of these two sections right here. You gain 2 SP gain when you train with this card, and you gain 50 SP from this card for free. So this card is like a really high SP gain card. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you all late surger mains out there enjoyed this video. If I missed a good banner, then please definitely let me know down in the comments below. I'll also definitely be making for the encoder version, so definitely look out for that. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.